hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
folks, welcome back to the Kaffee Klatsch for Refugees. Good to see you all again on this Sunday 400 plus people here currently right now. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't mind. I could be watching the Indianapolis Colts play right now. I'm not doing that. Even though I'm not happy with the NFL, I do still have an interest in my Colts team. I follow them tangentially. But I'm here to talk with you guys about the situation, what's going on in the latest, and what we've heard in the past week. We did have an interview with Frick and with Pamela, who are doing quite well here in the United States, living in Wisconsin, and their experience has been very good so far. I haven't heard from other refugees who promised to come on and give interviews. Again, look, you don't have to give me an interview. Nobody owes me anything, but I would say this. If you use my good graces to get over here or help you resolve a situation, you don't have the courtesy to inform me of what happened. That's quite disrespectful and discourteous. So I'd ask you to do that. At least so I know what's going on. Otherwise, I'll just quit putting my neck out there helping people. Simple as that. Anyway, welcome back to the program. A great interview with those guys last week. We also, the week prior, had a fantastic interview with Willem and Kara out in Twin Falls, Idaho. They're doing quite well. Both of them working, daughter off studying at university. Wow. All of this possible because of Donald Trump and America's generous nature. Meanwhile, we still have stories running around calling them refugees and other things. But the big news is not that. Not the interviews, not the kumbaya, not the good, but the unpleasant side of what's happening. The Democrats are refusing to sign an appropriations bill allowing the government to continue operations, and the impact is being felt. The first to feel it weren't Americans, but actually South Africans who were scheduled to come over here on the 30th of September. Their flight was canceled. I've been contacted by several South Africans who found themselves in the same position, having been told to come to Pretoria or Johannesburg, for example, for a flight out of the country. They did so, disposed of their personal belongings, goods, services, vehicles, all that stuff, because you can't take it with you, only to be told that their flight had been canceled. Now, some of them are angry at RSC, some are angry at the embassy, some are angry at the Amerikaners. Your anger is misdirected. Your anger belongs in one place only, in one direction only, the Democratic Party in the House and in the Senate. In the Senate in particular, who refused to approve an extension to government operations, causing undue hardship and pain for people around the world. That's who you must blame. Not me, not Democrat, not the embassy, not RSC, not the Amerikaners. Those people are working assiduously and putting all their efforts into trying to help people. In the meantime, their efforts continue. South Africans are still being interviewed. South Africans are still being processed. And what will happen is that we just get a logjam of refugees that are piling up, waiting to leave South Africa approved. Now, before you panic, tens of thousands, according to some reports, as many as 110,000, I think that's nonsense. That's bogus because we only had 125,000 cap, and most of those people come to America. But the media breathless are reporting about 100,000 refugees who were denied access to America after Trump suspended the program back in January. That was a lie. Trump suspended the program for 90 days. The program restarted after 90 days after we rooted out some of the corruption from the Biden regime, illicitly allowing that program to be misused. Some refugees from other countries beyond South Africa have come over since then. Not many, because the money's simply not there. But from Afghanistan and other places, we've had some arrive in America, and that's a fact. Some Afghans arrived in Las Vegas, amongst other places. And so the lies being told by the media are just disgusting, uninformed. So, before South Africans get upset, and I appreciate where you're coming from, I guarantee you that whatever your circumstances are, they're far better than a family living in a camp in Kenya waiting for departure to the United States, or living in Uganda from South Sudan. Now, that doesn't improve your situation, but just have a little empathy for other people. You're not the only ones that are suffering. So there, I've said that. Now, in the meantime, for those who find themselves in a situation where you were scheduled to depart, you had tickets, and your flight was canceled. It wasn't canceled because there isn't money for the flight, because the International Organization of Migration apparently is paying for those flights, and you have to repay them with a loan. Your flight was canceled because there's no U.S. officials to escort you to the airport for your safety to ensure you get on the flight and get out of the country. And there are no U.S. government officials on the other end to receive you, nor are there government officials to process your case. Once again, RSC and the Amerikaners do not decide your fate. Despite the lies and the nonsense being spread by people who think they are, they do not decide your fate. Every case presented to them must be referred back to the U.S. government. They don't go, oh, here's 5 cases. I reject these 3. We'll send these 2 in. That's not how it works. Every case goes back to U.S. government immigration official, and they review your case. And if they see something untoward, like, well, maybe they shouldn't have been excluded, they'll overturn that because that's not a decision made by them. They review it to make the decision on the case's merits. So those people are not available. The government has furloughed hundreds of thousands, 750,000 government employees are not working right now and not getting paid. So, hardship. It's unfair. Because of this, anyone in that situation who doesn't have accommodation, who finds themselves in a bind, I've offered, if you send me an email, I will do my best to accommodate you in South Africa with generous South Africans who will provide for you. But I must have the following when you contact me: your name, a valid contact number, the size of your family that needs assistance, and if you have children, you're going to have to give them the age of this person. I mean, if you got a 19-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old, we need to know that, and boy, girl. Tell us that. You don't have to give us all their names. Nobody cares about that. But give me that information in email, and I will try to match you with someone providing accommodation. I've already done this for a couple of families. They now have a place to stay. But that doesn't solve the next problem. Some people have found themselves in a situation of running low on cash. Understandable. I've reached out to the founder of Food Socks to ask if they'd be interested in helping out with the situation, either selling the food, which I've offered to pay for, and another donor has already come forward and offered to pay for this, or if Food Socks would be willing to help donate some of the food as well. All right? So before people get all bent out of shape and start saying evil things about America and evil things about the United States government, say all of that about the Democratic Party. You see, honest, good, hardworking people in South Africa and America are trying and willing to help you. Okay? Does that make sense? Is that fair? Okay. All right, now let me go through the chat here. Alan, Hendo, Annette, Erica, Haley Senecal. It sounds like a celebrity, man, like a teenage, sitcom star. Haley Senecal. Andre Mostart, Robert Zede. Robert Zede's back. I haven't seen him in a while. Tigers and Sweets, Maze, Hank, Peanut in a Basket, Monica Vellemont, Hendo, Ian Moon, Teresa Layfield, David Muller, and there is Aloma. Thank you for your membership. I appreciate that, Aloma. Very kind of you. Is that short for Paloma? You don't have to answer. I'm curious. Aloma is an unusual name. Portuguese, Paloma would make sense. A lot of Portuguese in South Africa. Rory Pike, hello to you. And Mandy Van Ryan. Oh, there's another membership. Thank you for your membership, Michelle Heath, for 7 months. My days are going okay. It's busy as always. Amanda says, here we go again. Colin van Logenberg, welcome to you. Helen of Troy, Natasha Postumus, Hansi Botts. When the shutdown becomes clear, it makes people ill. Okay, Hansi, thanks for sharing that. Not really sure the point. Mental Chewing Gum, welcome to you. Karen Graham, hello. David Muller, Andre Mostart, Francis Ruiz. When is U.S. government voting again? I understand there'll be the next vote on the 14th, but don't count on any changes. Yuri Osthuizen, welcome to you. Derek Grünig, hello. Okay. My username, Hansi, on Spotify is DJ Silver Eagle. I'll show you that channel. Spotify, DJ Silver Eagle. Come on, let's go to Spotify, load up. There it is. This is what it looks like in case you're curious. That's the channel right there, DJ Silver Eagle. There you go. Oh, somebody's got me on their playlist. Ugh, I'm logged out. That's stupid. Ugh, they sent me an email. I can't get into it. Thank you, Lynette, for the super chat 14 rand. Sorry, I reset the TPM settings on my thing because I was considering downloading Windows, and my Firefox got all screwed up. I got logged out of everything. Every time I log into everything, it's like hundreds of things I have to log into. This is one of them I haven't logged back into since I did that. So now I've got to go to my email. Ugh, maybe I'll just look it up over here. It'd be easier on my phone. Email. Let's see if it shows up over here. Oh, there it is, Spotify. Okay, I need a code to get into my Spotify. Here it is. Okay. Okay, so. Okay, and I should be in my Spotify now. I'll be able to play that song. Okay. There we go. Imagine doing that for every channel I log into all the time.
Wrong place, wrong time. What's the plan? Spinning words, but they don't land. Oh, jellyfish way. Oh, yeah. Floating promises drift away.
Jellyfish Sway from DJ Silver Eagle. That's the channel, folks. All right, there you go, Hunzi. So, Mustard Olive Coaching missed half the news, bad weather, power knocked out. Sorry to hear that. I'm glad it's better. You can go back and watch it after the fact, Mustard Olive Coaching. It gives me credit, too, so thank you for that. Patches, back after a while. I couldn't join live stream. Sorry to hear that, Patches. I'm glad you're able to rejoin. Rose Krause, welcome to Ronald Lowe, Anna Kruger, Madeline, Nico Stassen. Answering the question that was asked of Hansi. I'm behind. And down with Schumer. Yes, down with Schumer is right, David Wilson. These are all before the stream even started. Undercover Refugee. Love the song. Which one? Grass is Greener. And then Janine Williams, Peter LaRue, Roy Pike, Wacky Mantis. Instead of Praying Mantis. JV, Sue Marie, Rose. And there's a super chat coming in from Keith. Clouds are gathering. Yes, super chat. Thank you. Okay, JJ Kruger's here. Anna Marie Nell. Hey, Anna Marie Nell, what's going on with Formula One? I've heard nothing about Formula One in donkey years. Is it still around? Just kidding. Rhonda Absalon, good evening to you. It goes out, the USA citizens not getting paid because of Democratic crap show. Denise Wolf, both really appreciate all your support. You're very welcome. Dire need for support. Okay. And then Bev in Amsterdam. How's Amsterdam, man? Those canals getting you down? Rihanna Mons, hello to you. Whoops, it just jumped on me there. Let me go back and find Rihanna. Oh, come on, where is it at there? Am I that far behind? Wow, I am way behind. That took a big jump here. I got to pick up the pace here. There it is, Denise, okay. And then Rihanna, okay. I was really way behind here. Expat Family says, I get that you like doing interviews, but I usually keep this private and don't share it with friends or family. Like, keep it that way. I don't know what you're talking about, Expat Family Joubert. I want to keep you dated about my experience. How do I contact you? The email address, Christy. It's if one of the mods could put it up there. There it is. Will's put it up. Thank you, Wills, for putting that up. All About Africa 2021. That's how you reach me. All right. Okay. Saving Private Ryan. Just an update. We're still in process. I haven't forgotten about the interview promise. Americana's confirmed her case. No. Saving Private. I don't expect anybody to give me an interview when you're on that side. I only want people to give me interviews when they come this side and they've arrived. And it doesn't have to be the day you arrive. That's silly. I mean, after you get settled a week or 2 weeks or something like that, when you've got a few moments. Yeah, that's what it is. We're going on week 3 now and haven't done our orientation yet. It's crazy, stressful. Okay, Gold, I don't know the process. What you mean by that? Did you have tickets or are you just week 3 of what? Week 3 since you were told you were approved? 11-row shot, essential. What's up? True story. It was housebreaking. I don't know what the true story is, Anna, because we're getting multiple conflicting reports. Where do you have it from? From the police? Well, I'll be available for interviews to Colonel only once we're settled. Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who are settled, several hundred here now, and I'm not getting interviews. Colin from Loganberg, we had to fly this week and gave the schools notice. Do you think we should rather send back to school? Colin, if you have that ability to send your kids to school, I wouldn't take them out of school now. I mean, we don't know how long this could go on. I mean, this could go on for 2 months, and then you lose a whole academic year. Does that make sense, Colin? I mean, as long as it doesn't cause stress or problems, you know, and the kids aren't going to talk about it, I would send them back to school. I don't want it to become a distraction, but I don't know. It might end tomorrow. It might end in 2 months. I mean, it wouldn't be unprecedented if it go beyond a month. We saw the last one went for 34 days. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you other than that would be my advice. Unless here's the thing. Unless I already had a flight, I would never pull my kids out of school anyway. They would have stayed in school all along. I don't know your circumstances, so I'm not criticizing or coming at. Just saying that would have been my approach. I would have left my kids in school until it was time. One more thing to worry about or blame. We're really in trouble. Our funds will run out in 2 weeks, says Ian. Okay, Ian, but that doesn't answer my question, so I'm not going to delve into it. I don't know if your person whose flight's been canceled. I'm offering to try to provide help for people who need food. I can't feed South Africa. But I'm offering to help people who have already relocated and were supposed to fly and now are stuck and can't go anywhere. Julie says, thank you, Chris, for your advice and patience not leaving us. No, I haven't. It's certainly tempting with all the evil people attacking me and lying and slandering, including Newsroom Africa. the Daily Maverick, and several South African publications, plus your ubiquitous hate-wanking leftists, Sunnyside prowlers, and others who've attacked me. It is very interesting. Look up Dadaab in Kenya. Exactly, Maze. We got our unique code. Wait for a call. How does this work? Helen? If you got a code, then that means you already have a case. They'll contact you when it's time to proceed. So there's just a lot of people involved. Maria Bothy, welcome to you. Once you have a case number, then you have a refugee application. If you don't have a case number, you're not a refugee applicant. You've just expressed a statement of interest. Blonde Topaz, hello to you. Fabian, okay. Putting it out there. Everyone claims to be faithful. Then some have faith in that time flight will come. At least you have a flight to hold. No idea what Sumeri's asking. We're waiting for flight dates. The lockdown happened. Okay, Ian, but again, that doesn't really tell me, did you relocate? I mean, if you live in Bloemfontein and you were waiting for dates and you have housing there and you haven't relocated to where you're at and you've left everything behind, even if you've sold things, that's not who I'm offering to try to help. I'm not saying that's your case, Ian. I don't know the circumstances. You don't have to reveal that. You can send me an email and tell me what's going on. And I don't know that solution, but I'm trying. I don't see any South Africans doing this. No one in South Africa is organizing any effort to help anybody. If there is, I'm unaware of it. It doesn't make me a good or wonderful person. It just means that I'm trying to be helpful so that people don't slam America because the Democrats and what they're up to, their shenanigans. I likely will not get paid on the 1st of November, and I still have $3,000 mortgage I have to pay for every month. So, I mean, where's that money going to come from? Well, because I'm not an idiot and I plan for the future, I'll be able to draw that out of savings. So, yep. Znep, in your experience, would or could the refugee program be expedited should some reverse situation arise like your uprising 23rd? Well, Znep, I'm not trying to abuse you, but that, to me, is almost a silly question. I mean, so are you not familiar with Saigon in 1975? Perhaps not. It's a long time ago. I was just a kid. U.S. helicopters being dumped off of aircraft carriers to accommodate the refugees who were flown in. South Vietnamese and Americans. The Americans are refugees, but the South Vietnamese were. Are you not familiar with what happened in Afghanistan in 2021? Joe Biden abandoned this country. JJ Rasmus received a unique ID this week. Congratulations, JJ. See, they're still processing people. It's still happening. A reduced number of U.S. employees to help, but the funnel isn't shut completely. Someone may be stepping on the garden hose and putting pressure on it so it's not wide open like this anymore. It's down like this, but it's still happening. Meanwhile, behind that, the RSC and the Afrikaners are processing lots of people and pushing it into this funnel, which used to be like this, and it could come out this side. But now it's like this because we don't have any Americans working on this. Does that make sense? Okay, so SNAP, 160,000 plus Afghans were illegally evacuated to America in 2021 in a 3-week period. So the answer to your question is yes, it could be done. The bigger question is, would we do it? If Trump's president, there's a remote possibility we would, but I wouldn't hold my breath. Does that help? Mahalisburg. Well, you're in heaven already, Ian. Mahalisburg's wonderful, man. Golda says you're a good person. The jury's out on that, according to the Sunnyside Prowler. Thank you, Joey. Correct, Chris. The USCS official explained it to us this Friday. The U.S. government decides. Exactly. No, I know. Of course I've been correct, Krista. Thank you very much for confirming that. I've known all along, and I've said it all along. People, who are these Kenyans to decide? Who are these black people? First off, calm down. That's a racist statement because it's intended to imply the black people have no right to make a decision. But it's also incorrect. It's not the black people. They don't make the decision. The decision is made by U.S. officials. Only U.S. officials make the decision. And it's always been the case. All that these other groups do is screen process. Can you imagine 6 American employees responsible for reviewing 100,000 statements of interest? No. So you hire someone or you put someone on task to screen it, go through. Is this a real phone number? We got a lot of people submitted fake statements of interest with no real numbers. Is this person even eligible? How many people are in the family? What other circumstances? You screen it, you take that, you pass it back to the U.S. official. Then the U.S. official, if they get ones that say this was not legitimate and they look at it and they go, well, the phone number is no good. Okay, good. Well, then there you go. Does that make sense? Thank you, Annaline. Tony Duvall, welcome to Just Ainer. Arctic, I don't know. What are you moaning about tonight? Okay. Michelle Heath, thank you. Okay. Hester Altenbach, we got our first emails from Americanas, received a unique ID. No case was sent, and now we wait for contact. Cannot wait for the next step, okay? Chaos Juggler, Helen Deswart, Lolita Kritzinger, and there's a super chat from Milo's mom. Thank you for 35 Rand. Always caring about us, and for all your time. It's greatly appreciated. You're very welcome. Horse Crazy in from the Western Cape. I like horses too. They are wonderful creatures. They really know how to sense people. They're great for care for people who have had trauma. Okay, Corneluk, welcome to you. Kathy says, I truly think you have the biggest heart I've ever seen. Well, I don't know if that's true. I think Mother Teresa probably had a bigger heart than me, but thank you so kindly. Received our code today. Eudora, congratulations. Sent you an email. Subject line starts with racist. Apparently, recently arrived staff and you say spewing terrible racial slurs. Okay, let me check that out. That's something I'll definitely cover. Okay. Racist. Okay, I don't see it. When did you send it? Racist. Racist. There it is. October 10th you sent it. Sorry. Let me see. Oh, it's an Afrikaans. Who is the racist, Pete? Is that the person? No, he's not a refugee in America, that person. I pretty much guarantee that's the case. No, I think those people are known. So, I mean, look, they're racist the world over. Not much you can do it. Thank you, Benj, for that, for reminding me of that email. Nobody is mourning Vol is being super colonel, huh? Ruben Link, well, thank you for the super chat, Fabian. I got my first email from Americanas yesterday. Look at that, guys. Yesterday was a Saturday. They're working 7 days a week to help you all, and they get crapped on. RSC, I don't know if they're working 7 days, but I've got indications they're working 7 days a week because people got stuff on the weekend. It's from them as well. We are on our way for the first interviews in the fifth. Okay, hope me to pass interview. And any tips? Any tips? Yeah, sure, Ruben. Tell the truth. Nothing but the truth. Understand that being a victim of crime doesn't make you eligible to be a refugee. People need to understand that right now. Being a victim of criminal activity doesn't make you eligible to be a refugee. This is not a program for people fleeing from crime. This is a people fleeing from racial persecution. If you were a victim of a crime or targeted for criminal activity because of your race, you have indication, then you should articulate that. Thank you, Pierre Enslin, 35 Rand. Lots of tiny super chats coming in, but they're adding up. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, understand that. I get stuff from people. Oh, I was sexually assaulted when my husband was gone, and then we were robbed on the farm, and we were carjacked, and I was shot, and I was stabbed. That's all horrible. No one should go through that. But not one of those things justifies refugee resettlement. What? No, it doesn't. Black people are victims of crime. They're raped and murdered, molested, robbed every day. Colored people, Indians, all South Africans this happens to, except Johan Orton, who leaves his windows open in Stellenbosch. He's got the good life there. Or is it Johan Rupert? It's Johan Rupert, excuse me. Johan Rupert is the one who just leaves it's Johan Rupert, leaves his windows open in Stellenbosch. But the rest of South Africa is going through crime. Maze, thank you for the 35 Rand super chat. So you need to be able to articulate your fear of persecution. If you legitimately fear the reason you were attacked is because you're white or Indian or colored, then articulate that. I believe this is what happened to us. That's my advice. That's all I can tell you. Beyond that, you can articulate your fear for future persecution. If you've applied for a government contract as a private vendor and were denied because of your race, Hein, thank you for your membership. Hein. Thank you, Hein. If that's happened to you, then that's an instance of past persecution. If you plan on trying to do government with the business or give business with the government, but you can't even bother because you can't get a contract because of your skin color, because of BE, then tell them, future persecution. I can't get a contract. Thank you, Otto George, for 35 Rand Super Chat. You have to articulate, okay? You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to prove anything. Now, they might ask for things that help lend credence to your case. Do you have a police report? Well, yes, if you have a police report, that's great. But you're not there to prove. You're there to articulate. And if they start making you prove things, then raise the question. I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. I understand that I'm supposed to articulate what's happened to me. In other words, explain what has happened to me and persecution-wise and what I think is going to happen in the future. Then you might catch a little bit off guard, okay? But yeah, you're supposed to articulate, which means to explain, all right? There's no proof involved here. But if you have proof, receipts, cancel things, video footage, things like that, you won't be able to take a mobile phone or a computer into the place, most likely. But if you have the video, take a thumb drive, removable thumb drive, USB drive, put the video, put the documents all on there. You can turn it over to them. Make a spare copy. Okay. Cool tune, says Lana. Yaku Fun Skalkvik, welcome to you. Lynette Taylor, thank you for dropping a bucket with something. Yeah, thank you for the 14 Rand, Lynette. Something is something. Due to my pregnancy, is it possible to make my husband the main applicant because, as you stated, it'll be a lot of stress for the baby? I'm not really sure what you're getting at, Nikki. Lolita Kritzinger, we also got her idea this morning. Wow. First email at midnight last night from Eric Connors. Wow. Congratulations on that. So, Nikki, I really don't know what to say. I don't know where you are, your first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. I don't see how the stress is going to go down for you. You're still an applicant. You're still interested. So I wouldn't change anything. Whoever the most eligible person was who's the head of the household should be the person on there. So I just leave it be. Unless you've somehow got yourself in a tiz and all freaked out over it, then maybe. I don't know. But I don't see how it's any different. You're still going to go through the stress. You're still going to go to the interview with your husband, whether he's the main applicant or not. So I would just, leave it as it is. Wear a sign. Oh, you found it. Yeah, you love that song. Okay. It isn't on Spotify yet. I haven't submitted it. Or is it? Yeah, it is. Are you in contact with all? No, obviously. Come on, Sebastian. How could I possibly be in contact with all of the several hundred refugees that are here in America? First off, some of them never heard of me. Small number never heard of me, never came over here. Many of them have simply used me for their own means to get what they wanted, and then they pissed off and don't give a flying flip about informing others. That's rather selfish, but that's their prerogative. And a lot of people are just trying to get established and live their own lives. I have met or spoken to, I think, 15 or 18 of the original 59. I think it's 18 of the original 59 so far. I've spoken to more than that. I've spoken to probably about 40% of the, 35, 40% of the adults that were in that first group, but I've physically seen about 18 of them. And I've interviewed several. And now I've had an interview with people who came after the first 59, and that was, of course, with Frick and Pamela this past week. So no, I'm not in contact with all the refugees. No, I'm an independent journalist. I'm an American. I'm a patriot. I'm living here in Pennsylvania. I'm a consultant. That's not my role in life, but I'm in touch with many of them. I am in touch with hundreds, if not a few thousand, refugee aspirants who tell me and update me on the progress of their applications, not in chat, but in emails and WhatsApps and things like that. So yes, I have a few thousand people that contact me about this, if not several thousand, to be honest. Democrats are seriously against USA people. They are. They're hateful, power-hungry people. That's all they are. Let me check on something very quickly here, folks, because I've got something up in my other window. Where's it at? Is it this window? It's this window here. Let me check on something. Okay, halftime. Okay. And let me see what's going on here.
When the perfect song comes on while you're...
Okay, I've got that playing in the background, but it's on mute. That's looking at the NFL game, the Colts versus Arizona Cardinals. So just trying to check up on the game. It's halftime there. So anyway, Jacoby Brissett, that guy sucks. They've got him as their quarterback. He's at less than 50% passing. And there's 14 Rand Super Chat from Letitia. Thank you, Letitia, for the 14 Rand Super Chat. Boy, it's like the sparse, tiny little Super Chats are coming in big time today. Thank you all so much for that, though. It's the thought that matters. I appreciate it. Don't send money you can't afford to send, folks. Common Sense says Democrats seriously against American people. Yep. How people vote for them is, yeah, it's shocking. Not all refugees want to be in contact with it. Correct, Sebastian. Hopefully you will be able to interview South Africans in every U.S. state within the year. Well, Andrew, I would happily interview as many people as possible. Some are better than others. I have to say that the past two interviews were fantastic. Not that the previous ones weren't great, but the past two were absolutely fantastic. And Thea's first one in the States was pretty darn good, and her first one was good. But the past week have really been enlightening and informative for a lot of people. That was the interview with Willem and Kara in Twin Falls when I was out in Idaho. And then the one I just did from Wisconsin with Frick and with Pamela. Both of those answered a lot of questions. A lot of people this hysteria started a month ago or so ago about all these people in South Africa. Thank you for the 99 Rand Super Chat, Beast Mode. Dual citizenship. My girlfriend and kids don't. Should we get married? Will my dual citizenship affect us? Your dual citizenship could affect you. You have kids with her, then you might be able to come over if she applies. If she's the South African, exclusively South African. I don't know if you haven't done it. You should send a statement of interest, or at least have her send it in, and you probably will be able to come because even though you have another nationality, because you are the parent, and they don't want to break families up. So that would be my advice: is that she send it in. And include you and include the kids on there. And if you're the natural parent of those kids, then you have a claim. And so they should send you over. Hein says, thank you for all your help. Keep on fighting the good fight. We received our email from Amerikaners. Can't wait to meet you in the USA. Thank you, Hein, for the 140 Rand Super Chat. Thank you very much. There you go. 658 people here and only 209 likes. Yeah, well, we got 381 likes now, and it's 566. Apparently some people left. We were never at 600. 592 is the peak. And if there were 658 people you saw, Helen, then YouTube is lying to me. YouTube told me the peak was 592, which I believe they're lying to me. It wouldn't be the first time. Sebastian Thert, welcome to you. Steph Grayling, welcome to you. Refugees allowed to travel from state to state. In fact, they are, Sebastian. You must be late to this. I interviewed a couple who were settled in Iowa, and they moved to Kentucky within a couple weeks of arriving, of their own volition, their own choice. They were offered jobs working on a poultry farm in Kentucky, and I haven't heard from them since. I should probably reach out to them, but they went to Kentucky. Also, Charles arrived in Buffalo, New York. The last place a farmer wants to be is Buffalo, New York. It's nothing but an icebox in wintertime. There's no farms there. Charles relocated to South Dakota. We've interviewed Charles. He's in South Dakota. I also know of another family that's recently relocated, and I know of two other families that asked me if they should relocate. So you can go wherever you want in the United States once you're here. However, if as a refugee you leave where we've settled you, you lose access to the refugee assistance organization that's providing assistance. So my recommendation to people is if you come here and you want to relocate, get your Social Security number, get your refugee cash assistance underway, get the benefits you're entitled to and what you're enrolled to underway, and get your cultural orientation out of the way and get yourself a driver's license, even if you don't have a car, before you go anywhere. Otherwise, you're going to be utterly dependent and you're not going to have any resources. Okay? So that would be my recommendation. For instance, in Twin Falls, the refugee assistance place up there, which is not a faith-based organization to my knowledge. I met the people. They're wonderful. Went in there, saw them on a Friday, toured the Refugee Assistance Center, which is a private organization that helps people coming to Twin Falls, Idaho. They actually purchase used cars that are roadworthy, and they keep a few of them there on the lot so that refugees can buy them inexpensively. As Willem said, and I'm not disclosing any state secret, he purchased an operational automobile for $500 US. That is dirt cheap. But it's because the Refugee Center had got a hold of the car. Either someone donated it or they bought it cheaply and made sure it was roadworthy. His daughter is now using that to go to university. He has a car provided by his employer. And Kara has an awesome, big, bucky, I'd kill to have a vehicle like that, which she was able to purchase by making a loan. She was able to make the loan based on a letter of employment. So all kinds of circumstances befall people. But until you have yourself that situation, I strongly recommend you do not abandon wherever you went to. Because once you leave there, you won't have those resources. You might ask for them in the location, but the odds are you probably won't get them. And then you're on your own. And then if you bitch and moan and complain about America this, America that, then it's your fault, not ours. Does that make sense? Hopefully that answers the question, Sebastian Thert. Keith, thank you for the 14 Rand Super Chat. Do mention the food assistance for refugees. Yeah, okay, Hendo, that's, I think I mentioned already, didn't I? I'm behind in the chat here. What's the timestamp on this? It's 42. I think I mentioned already, Hendo, but I'll do it again here because I'm 20 minutes behind in the comments. I said that I'm trying to reach out to Food Socks to see if we can't make food available for those families who were supposed to fly already and by direction of the U.S. government came to Pretoria, Joburg and are now stuck and are running out of money. I can't take care of thousands of families, and I've offered to pay for some of that food, and I have one sponsor who's also offered to pay for some of that food. Also, I'm making an opportunity for Food Socks to donate if they want. And if you don't like soy, well, I'm sorry, the food is soy-based, okay? Just saying. That's how they make it affordable. All right, but apparently the food is quite good. Talk to people who've taken it. Sinjvian, welcome to you. Okay, whoops, it jumped on me again. I got to go back. The super chats helped me find where I was at. Well, I'm way behind. Let me pick up the pace here a little bit. Good Lord. Oh, Milo's mom. I missed one from Ardent Eyes. Thank you for 40 Rand Ardent Eyes. Green Leaves, thank you for your membership. Waiting for a shutdown to end order to fly. Everything else has been done, even orientation. Congratulations, Yolande Silliers. Okay, I'm sorry if this is a dumb question, but I was supposed to fly on the 8th. Thank you for the super chat. On the 8th, but the shutdown was postponed, but there's now so many of us after it's been canceled. How will they get everyone? How will they get everyone what? How will they get everyone what, Rihanna? Get everyone what? On a plane? You'll go out when seats are available. That's why I cautioned people before the shutdown when it was occurring, and actually since the shutdown. I've told you that even if a budget's approved right now, this very minute, it will take 7 to 10 days minimum to get the pace restarted, which doesn't mean you leave in 7 to 10 days. You might leave in 3 weeks because of a backlog. They'll get people out. Don't sweat that. Okay. It's not a dumb question, Rihanna. Okay, I received our ID this week, just waiting for phone call. Well, I now believe we should all start sending our nominations to Chris for Nobel Peace Prize. Well, like Donald Trump, they won't recognize my contributions. You're good. You're a godsend. Thank you for everything. You're welcome, Marina. Okay. Wesley Adi, thanks for the show. Sent through statement of interest in June. Still waiting for call. Okay, well, Wesley, yeah. So thank you for your patience. We've had one person on here. Their family waited 108 days after they were contacted. So there can be a lag both ways. Getting contact initially. I know people just this past week who sent in a PRM or a statement of interest in May 12th, the day it opened up. They were just contacted this past week. May, June, July, August, September. Going into 6 months before they got contacted. There's just that many people involved in the program. So just be patient. Just be patient, okay? Okay. And Fabian got his first email ID. Okay, cool. It's time for a poll. Oh, Alan, you and your polls, man. Question. Let's say there's a cap on 100,000 refugees. Is it 100,000 cases, 100,000 people? It's 100,000 people, not cases. The numbers has nothing to do with cases. It's number of people, bodies. We have to have an absorbent capacity. Okay. Awaiting third interview. Okay. Got my first email from Eric Connors, but waiting for the read code. All right, and there's Hein. Thank you for all your help. 35 Rand. Thank you for that. Super chat still coming in. There's an American company, Eagles, that trains people to work from YouTube. There we go. All right, cool. It's back. Top chat. Back to live chat. CMM got theirs on Sunday. Look at all these names of people getting information now. Pierre Enslin, you're welcome. By the way, if you come over to America, just because you come here as a refugee, you shouldn't forget about South Africa. You can still watch my program. I don't just talk about South Africa, I talk about America, but I do talk about. Got cut half. Well, they get new ones out that was postponed with the new ones. Well, you have to forget the end of the month, Rihanna. That isn't applicable. Okay, guys, you didn't sign a contract. No one guaranteed you're going to deliver you X pounds of concrete on the 1st of October or November. That isn't. Thank you, Lori, for subscribing. That isn't what's going on here. If you've been approved and you're waiting for a flight, you'll get a flight when a flight's available. It's as simple as that. There's only 2 flights a day coming out of South Africa to America, Delta and United, to my knowledge, and you'll get a seat on one of those planes when there's a seat available. They'll get to folks, Rihanna, but I mean, I can't give you a timeline because I don't know how many people are piling up. But based on the number of people that are getting processed, and so many people said they've got contacted here. Well, I already mentioned 36 people have been contacted. I'm still behind 20 minutes in the chat, and there must be a lot of people stacking up. Okay. Hey, Lynette from PE. Mays, 35 Rand Super Chat. Benj, PV and his partner, US EMI, should send him back to South Africa. I have no idea what you're talking about. Hey, Barbie, late again. Good to see you here. Just Chill, Americaners and USCS have been amazing. We appreciate everything they do and have done for us. Says Just Chill. There you go. And Yolanda is waiting for her flights. Francis Ruiz, wow, many of you got your emails, unique IDs. Congrats. Sek Johan Rupert. Yeah, there you go. And Hein, thank you for your membership. Chief Wolf. Dominique, what is humanitarian parole? Humanitarian parole, that's a scam that was put in place by the Biden administration. That's a real program, but they used it to allow criminal alien invaders to stay in the country under fake humanitarian parole. They paroled them for committing crimes. They didn't have the authority to do that. They're not a court. Simon Swanepoel, thank you for your membership. Mandy von Royen, no one knows how many refugees have gone over. It's none of one's business. It's probably in the order of 350 to 400 would be my estimation right now. Veronica, thank you for becoming a member. Otto George Bossingwaith, I think that's what it is, 35 Rand. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Joe Schmo, really stressed here. Got our first call on September 16th, waiting for the follow-up email for interview. Anyone here able to give an indication how long they had to wait? Yes, Joe, as I was saying, I know a family here that waited 108 days after they were first contacted. So I think the Colonel knows about slotting, but it's impolite to admit I've never left the Americas and I know what a floppy is. What are you getting at, Light Rain? Nicolette Steenkamp, welcome to you. Chief Wolf. Sumer, we'll go look at what Johan Rupert's fence is security at lunchtime. Yeah, exactly. We had a bit of a delay in our process due to Hotmail being blocked. Got to follow up now. Okay, well, there you go. Be careful. Check your emails, folks. Check your spam folders. Got to do that. I used to work on a mountain next to Rupert's farm. It's inundated with security. Yeah. Marley says we were approved and waiting for our flight, but end up doing a follow-up interview. It was brutal, and now we don't know if our approval has been revoked. Well, that's interesting. See, that's not impossible, Marley. I mean, as I've said, they do background investigations. Just because you've been approved doesn't mean that they don't have other information coming in. They may have conditionally approved you. That's what there's a term. So, a lot of people are telling me, hey, I've been provisionally approved. What does that mean? Well, it means that you've been approved to come to America. But why provisionally? Because something could come up that could negate it. This persecution could end in South Africa. That's not going to happen. So that's not going to be the reason why you're provisionally approved and then disapproved. That's not going to happen, folks. No, there's no way that the ANC is going to change this racist stripes, its laws. But if something in your background crops up, or a question, or there's a question about whether you're genuine or not, they can ask more questions, and that sounds like what's happened in Marley Quinn's case. Not that anything is wrong. There's just a question that has to be answered. They're very thorough in this. Again, I said refugees are vetted harder than anyone else coming to America, except the vetting we do for people with security clearances. Got a unique ID this morning. Okay, I already get that, Lola. Okay. Pat, yeah, in a hoodie, and we're dying of heat. Well, it's because it's wintertime here. It's fall. Utah Mammoth National Hockey League team. This just came in the mail yesterday, so I'm wearing it. I'm not cold, but it is cold in my house. I don't have the heat on. I try to save energy. We'll watch through another time. Having trouble. Sorry about that, Rory Pike. Gila, welcome to you. James Duvall can confirm that an impatient person hope and pray from email. There's a hard lesson patience. Okay. Rebecca, I'm trying to get clarity on the parental consent affidavit. Department of Homeland Affairs form asks for dates minor traveling to and from. How do we fill in if it's one way? Okay, I don't understand. Who, DHA, is that Home Affairs? Who cares what Home Affairs has to say? I don't understand what you're asking, Rebecca. Department of Home Affairs is a South African organization. What does that have to do with this process? Nothing. What are you filling in parental consent for? I don't understand. Is this a South African form you're giving the South African government? Why are you doing that? I don't understand that. You got me very confused, Rebecca. I don't know what you're talking about. Chris, Garrett said, never been the depth of savages. No, I've never resorted to depth, but I've had them around me. Daily flights out, plenty of open seats. My son's flew out. No, there aren't plenty of open seats, Benj. Every single flight I've flown to and from South Africa the past 3 years has been completely full. I've never seen more than 10 or 15 seats open on a flight, so there aren't plenty of empty seats. Okay? I don't know what planes you're flying out on a half empty, but maybe something's changed dramatically since June. I haven't flown from South Africa since June, but I don't know. Or late May, excuse me. April and May, I flew to and from South Africa, and the flights were packed. It was a Delta flight. Chart, welcome to you. Sonette Scott, is there any way to check if you're actually on the lists? On what list? So many stories when the statement of interest has been made. There's no list. What list are you talking about, Sonette? Are you listening to that scam artist who took people's money? There's no list. What list are you talking about? We're in Animal Facts. What are they? 41 degrees in Kruger Park. Well, that's hot. Just a tip. They will email you documents to complete. Close family. Yep. I was canceled 4 days before my flight date. What's your question, Rihanna? The link for Free State doesn't seem working. Okay, you guys are talking about WhatsApp groups. I have nothing to do with those WhatsApp groups that you're talking about, so don't draw me into that. Not sure if this has been asked before, but what's the best way to take money over? TJ Potgieter, it's been asked many times. In fact, I've got a list of notes right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of notes on how to do money, how to do it legitimately. This is in consultation with South African financial experts. I have to make a video on this. I don't have time. I'm busy taking care of toddlers. Not real toddlers, but adults who, act like toddlers. It's like tonight, it's Sunday. I should have time to relax, enjoy myself, watch the football, eat my crabs, and just, do what I want. But I've got to go in this evening and talk about the future employment of people at the Veterans Organization because of their conduct. So I will get to this as soon as I possibly can. Financial planning for moving abroad is what this is called. So the question, there's many ways to do it. There's Wise, there's PayPal, lots of things to do. There are some good ways to do it, some bad ways, but everybody wants to cut your money, so you have to pick the way it's least bad. You can bring cash and equivalents into the United States. If you bring $10,000 per person into the United States, you don't have to declare it. Over $10,000, you must declare it. And that includes cash equivalents. Krugerrands, if you bring a whole bag full of Krugerrands and it's worth $40,000, you don't declare it, you're going to be in trouble. Now, declaring it doesn't mean they'll confiscate it. You just have to answer where it came from and that sort of thing. And you may or may not have to pay customs. I doubt it, though. Okay. I was turned away from several jobs, all citing BE. Now I'm doubting if this is even a valid, considering Prestige's video a while back about economic exclusion. Okay, all right. So I don't know what Professor G said, but listen to me, Virtual Western Cape. Listen to me, okay? People are conflating things. BEE is racist. BEE says that black people get preferential hiring. You have been denied job after job after job after job. If you have the emails, you have the letters from these companies. That is evidence, prima facie evidence of racial persecution. Do not conflict your poor. See, Professor G's, I don't know what he said. I didn't watch his video, so I'm not disputing him. But I'm willing to bet dollars of donuts you all watched this video when he said, you can't come to America because you're an economic refugee. And he's right. We don't take economic refugees. But being denied a job because of BE is not an economic refugee. It's racial persecution. If you cannot get a contract with the government because BE you were declined because you're not black, that's racial persecution. That is a legitimate reason. That is persecution. It's not economic. People, please listen. It frustrates me to no end that this comes up. And I don't know what Professor G put in his video because I didn't see it. I think his intent was trying to tell you that if the reason you want to come to America is because you can't get a job, you can't get in university, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you're poor, well, being poor is not a basis. The world is poor. We can't take 7 billion people in this country. Hell, we can't manage with the 330 million we got now. If you were denied employment because of your skin color, that's racial persecution. It's not economic. Are we clear on this? Are we clear? By the way, Professor G is an attorney and expert in asylum law. He's becoming more astute in refugee law, but he doesn't help refugee cases. He helps asylum cases. I'm talking about refugee. Do you think the shutdown will? No, I don't think so, David. I think they'll let it go through the end of the month. They'll get right, maybe by the end of the month, just before payday, they might do something. Yep. But no, the Democrats, they don't care. They don't care about the suffering Americans. They never have. They've caused the suffering Americans. And there's also, bear in mind, there are limitations on cash transfers out of South Africa by SARS, South African Revenue Service. You can transmit the equivalent of what, R1,000,000 per year, something like that, without consequence. I don't know about the reporting standards, but I do have my notes here, and I will try to make a video. But guys, it takes time. And I've been on the road essentially since April. April, May, South Africa. June and July, Birmingham, Alabama. Then England for a month, August and September. And then end of September, early October in Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, and Montana. So I've been on the road, and I got lots of responsibility. So I'll make this video as soon as I can. But the question was a legitimate question. Okay, Michelle, we still have to try and do our interview, says Michelle. Letitia De Bruyne, 14 Rand, thank you. Me and my mom are happy and safe in Virginia. Okay, see, there's Letitia. She hasn't offered an interview. Obviously, she wants her privacy respected. And you're welcome to that, Letitia. But thank you for the 14 Rand super chat. But it would be nice. By the way, folks, these interviews I do can be done anonymously. We can do them anonymously. We don't have to tell people where you're at. We did that with Willem and Kara in the beginning. They didn't want people to know where they're at. They didn't want people to know who they were because of that New York Times reporter who stalked them. And so in light of that, they did the interview and we had them off camera. You couldn't see them. And I had the name changed for who they were on the screen. So if you want to talk and protect your identity, we can do that. Or if you just want to talk to me privately so I have more information about people's experiences and I can attribute it to someone should the authorities come looking for me. I actually have a journalistic source. But Letitia, congratulations. See, there's 2 more refugees right there. Add that to our total of 350 or 400. The place I received my place, my tickets, it's just my flight was canceled 4 days. Okay, Rihanna. So I got it. Oh, you have a place. Okay. All right. So you're good. Any tax regulations that would limit the amount of money to take over? Yes, TJ Potgieter, and I just covered that. SARS has a limitation. Yeah, your entire family history. Yep, you got to know everything. If you've been married before, you're divorced, you're gonna need divorce paperwork. If you have a dead spouse and you've remarried, you're gonna have to have a dead spouse. If you have a dead spouse, you have kids, you bring the kids over to single parent, you're gonna have to have a death certificate. Do you think some other country also start? No, gray man. February 7th, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's been 8 months. Not a single country around the world has offered to help South Africans. None of them give a shit. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. Yeah, Arctic just hit it. Then you'll wait till the shutdown's lifted before you get a flight. And then probably 7 to 10 days after. Beast Mode JJ, 99 Rand. I have dual citizenship. I answered that question already. See a few fund eventers on here, and sometimes I wonder if we're family. You're all related. You know, they had 27 kids back then, you know. All you fundamenters, all you botas, you're all related, man. You duplices. Hi, 140 Rand. Thank you for all you do. Keep on fighting the good fight. Thank you for that. And then you get some stupid questions sending emails. I'm done. Huh? What do you mean, Vanna? Stupid aspirations send emails. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Vanna. Yeah, then the people get all snotty. After these months, how many people do you think will come over? Josar, I have no idea. I mean, first off, we can't predict it based off of what's happened so far. Initially, it was a pilot program, as I described it accurately. And the U.S. government later came to accept my description to explain what they were doing. That led to 59 people coming over. And then more people came over as they went through growing pains of not having funding and finding a way to pay for this program. If there's a budget or a continuing resolution that turns the tap back on for refugees, who knows? We also have the aspirational goals that go in the annual report that the executive branch sends to Congress. And in that report, according to the New York Times, only 7,500 refugees are coming into America this fiscal year. Well, I question that. And even if that is what the report says, that's an aspirational goal. It doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. So I have no idea what prediction to say. I would say that we'll probably see just a wild guess. If you're asking me to make wild guesses, we might see 10,000 South Africans come over this coming year. Just a guess based on current situation. Just a guess. If a person, for example, got handed over with debt review, well, debt review doesn't mean anything. We don't care about debt review. What does that mean, hand over for debt review? Are you convicted of a crime? We don't care. We don't care about your debt. As far as I know, as far as I care, you could owe Johan Rupert 20 billion Rand. We don't care. That doesn't affect your refugee. That debt doesn't come to America. Your systems aren't linked with ours. It doesn't affect your credit rating. If, however, you're a criminal and you've had just debts and you've had judgments against you, that's a different story. But I mean, I don't know what handed over for debt. Does that mean you're a criminal? You've been convicted of a crime? Or are you just behind your payments? Well, that doesn't affect anything. We don't care. If you don't pay your mortgages on that, we don't care. That has no effect on refugee status, to my knowledge. There's a lot of people here tonight that have obviously never watched this program before and never been on this channel since February 7th. These are questions I've answered many, many times, and I'm seeing names for the first time here. Thank you, Ruben, for your question. Best way to take money to U.S., ask your financial advisor, not in a public forum for someone who does not know South African laws to take money out. That's good advice, but if you're saying don't ask me, I am a financial planning analyst, so yet another thing I do, but I don't do that professionally for people because that's not my role. But people can ask me and they can take whatever advice they want. Okay. Someone earlier in the chat said the interviewer asked whether they have dual citizenship, said that the call would have been ended if they did. Well, see, that's bullshit, Francois. That's bullshit because the call won't be ended. They don't just hang up on you. That's nonsense. I have people claim that falsely. Simply not true. There are circumstances that would allow a dual national to come. Normally, being a dual national and you have a passport from a safe haven, you can't come. But there are circumstances that override that. What if you've been pulled over by traffic officials and victimized because you're white and been told we will make you an example of you because of you and being told you should go back to Europe? Well, Gideon Mullen, if you can relate the date where this occurred and what happened and how frequently this happens, then you're articulating a case of racial persecution. If you got the cop's number and badge number, all the better. All the better. All the better. If you have any video of it from a mobile phone, all the better. I have a dashboard camera when I'm traveling. And I record everything. You can turn the audio on those things, by the way. Not against the law. So, yeah, just saying. Yeah, Gideon. There you go. Dual citizenship is a disqualifying factor. If you get married, they can also go on Greece. So you all are disqualified. RSC told me dual citizenship, no interview. RSC citizenship, that's not true. That's not true. Not true. Not true. That is simply not true, Chief Wolf. RSC is misinformed. There is nothing that says that you automatically get to take your children to Greece if you're married. If you're not married and your spouse is a South African national and those children are South African nationals, they're being persecuted, they can't necessarily go to Greece with you. I have a situation of a South African whom I met recently here in the United States who's undergoing a case for asylum. Their family's in South Africa. They're also being persecuted, but they can't just come here because of that. So RSC is mistaken. They may be telling you that, but they're wrong. They're wrong. I'm not telling you dual citizenship qualifies you. I've told you from the outset that dual citizenship does disqualify you. You're correct about that. However, as with all rules, there are extenuating circumstances in some rare cases. So I would not lose any sleep over that. I mean, if you're a dual citizen of South Africa and North Korea, then they're not going to say no. If you're a dual citizen of Russia and South Africa, they're not going to say no. You can't take your family to those places. Oh, Letitia says willing to do an interview. Thank you, Letitia. Thank you so much. Letitia, please send me an email. Hendo put the email up for Letitia. She did it at 2:40 about 25 minutes ago. And please send me an email, Letitia, and we'll try to set something up, okay? And congratulations on your escape. Who's lying to me, Helen? Who is lying to me? Oh, YouTube. I'm about so far behind in the chat. Okay. The flights just announced their winter schedules. Yeah, so the plane, Delta and United aren't going to change their flight schedule for refugees. Trust me, not unless they start getting plane loads full of refugees. I'm really worried. I sent an email to the beginning of the program worried that they think I'm only interested in the economic aspect. I did put it in there that I'm fearful for our lives. Well, why would they think that you're interested in the economic if you sent an email? All right, well, James, okay, let's stop, full stop right there. James, did you not follow my advice and submit a statement of interest? If you submit a statement of interest, that'll come in. They'll look at the statement of interest at some point, and then they'll contact you. So I wouldn't lose sleep. There are limits what you can take out, taxes, depending how much exactly. By the way, my notes are from South African financial advisors. They're not just stuff off the internet. This is not a grok session. Not a grok session. I don't deal with that. All right. Okay. Let me check on the score real quick because I'm curious. Oh, it's 17-17 in the third quarter. What's going on here? Not looking good. They're letting Arizona get points here. The Colts want to be legitimate contenders. They got to beat Arizona. Right. I think it would be safe to say with a backlog, we would not be having a backlog. White Christmas. We should always be patient. Gold, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. See a wave of flights going outside as soon as the U.S. opens up again. I don't see a wave of flights. I see seats disappearing on commercial aircraft because they're putting a bunch of refugees on them. I waited 6 months, 14 days, first and second interview and medical done. There you go, Christine. Well, how could you wait 6 months and 14 days? Let's do the math. February 7th, March 7th. Well, actually, February 10th. That's when the program was announced. February 10th for the email. So March 10th, April, May, June, July, August, September 10th, October 10th. That's 8 months. Okay, you could have waited 6 months. Just doing the math. United Airlines are flying 7 days a week from the end of October. Yeah, that's one flight. And Delta flies every day. That's 2 flights. Okay. All right. And we're talking about planes that carry 300 plus passengers, not 600 like an Airbus A380. Okay. Why do I want slow mode on chat? It's not slow. Gail, you're misunderstanding. I'm in my streaming software that puts the show together and sends it to YouTube. That's where I'm reading the chat. It has a habit of jumping chat. It's not that I'm hard to find. I can't sit over here and read the studio because sometimes I refer to it if necessary, but that tab crashes a lot with YouTube. Seeing your case number does not mean you've been accepted. No, it doesn't, Chris. That's correct. Thank you for being clear about that. Thank you, Hein, for the 35 Rand. I want to thank Americaners for the hard work 7 days a week and blessings to you. Well, so is RSC. And so are many Americans, by the way. Some of them not getting paid right now, working 7 days a week to get you over here. Yeah, you're correct, Chris Swanepoel. Having a case number doesn't mean that you're coming over. Did I misstate that earlier? No, it just means you have a case. Until you have approval. Different story. Okay? United will have daily direct flights from the end of October. Correct, but still that's 2 flights a day. And there's Graham Roberts. Thank you, Colonel, for all your advice. My family and I got out blue letters. Okay. So apparently American Airlines is going to do. No, American Airlines to South Africa, that one I find shocking. That one I find hard to believe. When did American Airlines? They've never flown to South Africa to my knowledge. TJ Potgieter. Okay. Marley Quinn, my husband forgot about an incident when he was 17. Then there was a photo of my son competing against a former Hell's Angel member. Okay. Well, yeah. And then you got to hope that they believe that you're honest and contrite and it was an attempt to cover it up. Because an act of omission, that was the advice. Someone was asking for advice earlier. An act of omission is an act of commission. As a former counterintelligence agent, when I interview people or when I interrogate people, they are different. When someone neglects to tell me about something, when I ask a question about a specific area, have you ever been in trouble, you've been arrested by police, you've been charged with a crime, been convicted of a crime, and something doesn't come up, well, that leads one to believe that you're hiding it for a reason. I'm not saying that's the case, Marley. I'm just saying that hopefully that's not the case in your situation. With all that's going on in the backlog, the number of people trying to get the refugee program, it would be much easier to get everyone on a ship. Well, Zanep, are you going to pay for a Disney Cruise Line ship? That probably cost a couple $1 million per sailing. I will manage to get in with my... Okay. BE is racist. I agree, Hein, and you can articulate that. All we have to do is join the cricket squad. Going cultural orientation. Cool. James Henry Fundamental. TJ, please don't go down that road here. There are too many tech-savvy people not to get scammed. Or not too many tech-savvy people to get scammed. Yeah, I don't know what TJ said. Okay, dirty. All we have to do is join the cricket squad. Okay. Received email on Uke ID on the 18th, a follow-up on 21st, requesting more detail on my police service, waiting patiently for the next step. Very excited. Yes, you're Osthausen. And as we found out, as I stipulated after that email or that video that came out from Professor G, that people lost their freaking minds, that they were, not going to be able to come. Oh, because I served the military police. And I said, no, stop, calm down. Take a deep breath. Here's an inhaler. Here, let me help you. Here you go. Take an inhaler. Oh. Take a deep breath. Service in the police and military doesn't prevent you from becoming a refugee. If, however, you went and rounded up Steve Biko in the dark of night, took him to a prison, poured water on his genitals, beat him, tortured him, and he died, you're not coming over. Okay? Serving the military. If you were in the military and you were serving Namibia and you were with Crowbar, you know what it is in Afrikaans, and you rounded up Turs and you tortured them, you're not coming over. If you served in the South African Defense Force in the Battle of Quito Cunavale, committed war crimes, doesn't affect you, okay? All right. Cut in half of the dates to fly, okay. Ticket was postponed. Okay. Donald Seronio says, would you know more or less how big the bottleneck is? No, I don't. I suspect we're talking now dozens of people. probably approaching 100 or more, maybe more. I don't know. I have no idea. The government isn't willing to share this information, and I only have anecdotal information. I can tell you, I could attest to at least a dozen people this has happened to, but I'm sure it's much more than that based on what I see. It's different from every U.S. agent. Ours wanted to know. Yep. Okay. Happy for the military staff that will be paid regardless. Another win for President Trump. Well, they'll be paid mid-month. First off, Arushka, most military don't get paid mid-month. It's an option. You choose it because you're paid in arrears. So they get paid for work they did the previous month. That's what I never understand. People do that. They're like, okay, you don't get paid for the coming month. You get paid for the month you just served. Okay? So people that want a mid-month check, which means basically at the beginning of the month, they're only getting half their pay. You follow my logic? They have to wait till the middle of the month to get paid for what they did in September. They don't get that. But for me, it was because I couldn't manage my money when I was a young soldier because I spent it all. Eudora Prince Luke is a 35 Rand. Thank you for your patience. You're very welcome. Spiro Heisa says, I'm worried that I might not be able to afford American University for my son. Will I be able to make it if I work there? Well, first off, Spiro Heisa, your son probably isn't going to be able to go to university right away for starters because you're going to have to get, sorted out. University is free for Americans who are poor and for permanent green card holders and for refugees. When I say poor, when I say free, you get whatever student loan is available. You get grants, federal grants, and in some states you give state grants. So when I say it's free, there is money for poor people. That's how I went to university. My family couldn't afford university. My mother lived off of welfare when I went to university. $4,000 a year for a family of 6 in 1982. I qualified for full student assistance. I got a loan. I had to borrow money at 9% interest. That sucked. I got a state grant and a federal grant. And then I worked in the cafeteria. So I would not lose any sleep over that, Spiro. First off, Willem's and Kara's daughter is going to university. They just got there. And she's already university. And Kara was going to university. So you have an unwarranted fear. Okay? Snippets from Africa, 1049 super chat. Thank you. I was fired due to exposing of corruption. Well, there you go. There's that alone, Christy Duplay, that alone might qualify you to come over, okay? In addition to being a racial minority, that, being a whistleblower, your life is in jeopardy. Well, you had no choice but to mention it. Of course you should mention this. Why would you not mention this? My goodness, I would have that at the front of my list. I'm worried about persecution because I'm a whistleblower. I expose government corruption and my life has been threatened. Krista, what do you mean you had no choice? Of course you need to expose it. You want to tell them that. Yes, Debbie Fox, I'm behind you by about 15 minutes. Letitia did offer to do an interview, and I said send an email. Okay? Krugerrands are registered to the government. Okay, I don't know about that. Someone who tried that got unhappy as it was subsequent years and started asking questions, got money out transferring. I don't know about that. Pig Daddy, welcome to you. TJ Potgieter, welcome to you. Berkeley's, that's a cool name. Fitnut Innovations. Common sense, patience is the key, people. Colonel has really explained everything so clearly. Refugees need to give details of persecution to be considered for the program. Exactly. Or fear of persecution. Yeah, I don't know where you would sell Krugerrands this side. I do, Arctic. There's lots of bullion companies in America. In fact, I sold my coins, my bullion coins, but they weren't Krugerrands. I sold them. Yep. Long ago when gold was $400 an ounce. Yeah. The problem is they take a big commission. They're shysters. The people who trade in bullion, when they buy the coins from you, they take a big commission. Just joined. Are there limits to the refugee program? Amount of people? Well, Savage Godzilla, there's always limits. We usually don't take in more than X number of people per year. It depends on the year, depends on the presidency. And there's a lot of debate about this right now, including New York Times running a story trying to fearmonger, telling that only 7,500 people will be allowed to come over from around the world. And they're all going to be white South Africans. Those are two lies. But the New York Times breathlessly reports this. And just in August, they tried to scare people saying, but the total will be 40,000. And the 30,000 will be white Afrikaners. And that was also a lie. So what will be next? Next week, will they come with a story saying that only 1,000 people come over? We don't know. I haven't read the report. It's a public report, but it hasn't been released yet. Once the report's released, then it sets goals, targets. But we violate those targets all the time, like we did in 2021, taking 160,000 Afghans in this country in basically 3 weeks, which is more than the entire program for the year. So stop worrying about limits. If you want to do it, send your damn statement of interest in. Why do people worry about limits? I mean, look, I'm not picking on the question asked there, but I mean, this just becomes asinine at some point. Either you want out or you don't want out. If you want out, then you submit a statement of interest. Then what's all of the bullshit? You can be disappointed that you didn't get out because it wound up with a cap or only a certain number of people came out or there's only so much money. That's fine. But debating about, either quit drat sitting, quit shitting, or get off the pot. Make your decision. Don't sit there waiting for the release. Either you're going to release and put your statement of interest in and move forward with your life. And when you're called, answer the questions honestly, truthfully, and go through the process. Or you just complain about it. Or you debate it all day. Well, I don't know. Fine. That's your prerogative. I'm not encouraging anybody to come here. And you sure as hell aren't going to sit on my lawn. Adele says, Chris is always supporting. You mean reporting? Just be aware that if you have a criminal judgment for debt against you, good luck with your green card. Fair point, Arctic. Fair point. Debt does come into play when you ask for permanent residence in the United States. Not worried about taking money. I don't have any to begin with. There you go, Madeline. Are the interviews and medical screenings done the same week? No, Ruben. No. And the same problems. Right now, yes, and the same problems is taking place. Well, you're really late to this process, aren't you? Medical screening done the same week? Not necessarily. It depends. Depends. With all these questions, looks like we have lots of new refugee aspirants here. People that obviously have never watched this program and the thousands of hours and the now $350,000 of consulting I've given away for free. That's right, folks. I did the math again recently. $350,000 based on what I charge per hour for consulting, what I've offered to people with the prepared videos, the interviews, all the meet and greets. I mean, think about that. I did at least 3 meet and greets that went for 7 hours answering questions. At $1,000 an hour, that's $7,000. That's $21,000 just for those 3 meet and greets. I did 18 meet and greets in South Africa, not to mention the hundreds of videos I've done, the interviews I've done. You add all that up, it adds up to a lot. Even if I cut that price back to a cut rate price of $250 an hour, which is the going rate, it's still a buttload of money. Guy says Teams is doing interviews with the government's in shutdown. Yes and no, Guy. The U.S. government is in shutdown, but not essential personnel. And some of the essential personnel are people that process this stuff, okay? Ulorde, thank you for 35 Rand for your super chat. I'll listen and get my answers. Sometimes I listen to afterwards. Okay, Ann, thank you for that. I'm sorry, people. I've been giving you grief and hating on WhatsApp and whatnot. Trolls and civilians. Oh, you're sorry that, yeah, life is full of idiots. That is Western Cape. Life is full of idiots. Christo statement. I got my unique ID, but on the form they asked for criminal record and dates, but I can't remember the exact dates. But I do know that I was arrested for controlled substance 8 years ago. If you're honest about it, Christo statement, were you convicted of possession? Okay. An arrest record, put the dates down, the outcome. I don't know what the form looks like because I'm not filling those forms out, but normally for that sort of thing, you have to put down the circumstances. You were arrested for a controlled substance, and what was the outcome? All right. Put down the approximate date. I don't know how anybody ever got arrested can't remember the day they're arrested. I mean, that's crazy to me, but that's just me. I've never been arrested, so I would think that in my life it would be a huge event that I would remember being arrested. But answer it as best you can, Christo, and that's being honest, okay? And when they ask you, say, I don't remember the exact dates, I don't have any paperwork from it, I was arrested for a controlled substance, yada, 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 and answer the question as best you can. The couple that Colonel interviewed didn't have much on arrival in USA. Yeah, none of those people had. And now look at it. They've got 3 cars. And then the other family down there in Alabama, I mean, you know, both of the parents are working, the son-in-law is working. I mean, it's insane. You know, Thea got a job. She's making a great life over there. I mean, the guy out in Vegas is doing well. I mean, you know, McDonald's in Pretoria turned you away because you're white. Well, there you go. I mean that ought to open some eyes up in America. An American company refuses to hire people because they're white. Criminal and civil convictions should not be confused, as far as I know. Yeah, exactly. Yes, debt collection is a civil conviction, but it could affect your green card later on. Where are we at here? So, Professor G is an academic. He really gives good advice. He's a lawyer. Academic is a secondary thing. That's not his main profession. His main profession is his lawyer. Didn't complete my grade 12 dropout. to help put food on the table. Can I get my senior certificate? There's no such thing as a senior certificate. What are you talking about? We don't have senior certificates. I don't know what that is. That's like for elderly people to get free meals or something like that. Do you mean your GED, your general equivalency degree for high school diploma? Yeah. You can take the GED test anytime. Absolutely, James. You can take the GED test anytime. Yep. It's not free. You have to pay for it, but you can take it. Yep. USCIS official said I must email all the evidence to them. She asked the people who are responsible, names, surnames. I told them. All right, there you go, Christy. There you go. Perfect. Do you know why? Because they'll probably turn that over to the U.S. government to investigate that matter beyond your situation. It adds to the evidence that persecution. If we can have a case like, Ted Bloom or a case of Angela Greasy, yep. Carla Schroeder sitting. I got it right. Okay, thank you. Crystal Statement, thank you for the 14 Rand. You missed my super chat. Did I really? I don't think so. Am I correct by saying you'll need all unabridged? Okay, stop with this unabridged bullshit. I don't care about unabridged. It's alien to Americans. You have to have birth certificates that list your parents if they're known. Okay? I don't care about unabridged. I'm tired of that argument, that fight about that. That's a South African bullshit. Who the hell issues a partial birth? Well, okay, they were born. What the hell is that? You either issue a birth certificate or you don't. Talk about fence sitting. That's South African stupid stuff. As far as I understand it now, they're all unabridged, is what I've been told by several people. So I don't know. Just get a birth certificate, okay? You need that for applying for your green card after you've been in the States for 12 months or within 12 months. However, they do make exceptions. But I don't think they're going to be very understanding if there's hundreds of South Africans all claiming they don't have birth certificates, which is bullshit. If Erica comes over, she was born in Katanga, and she has no birth certificate because it was Belgian Congo, a country that doesn't exist, 60 years ago, they're probably going to be more understanding. I went out. Me and my family are coming to the U.S., just waiting patiently. Common sense. Okay. Tian Kitsoff, welcome to you. Olga Rousseau, can we apply for green card lottery? Just in case. You can apply for green card lottery anytime you want. Good luck with that. Letter Magog, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for 14 Rand, Letter Magog. Is it Magog or Magog? Okay. Olga Russo, I haven't seen you in a long time. I wonder if you're still around. Okay. Eyewitness News reported flight from Cape Town might increase from 3 to 5 for tourists, dated 30 September. Can't find other places. Yeah, okay, well, 3 to 5 flights per day, really? That's 2 more aircraft. Do you know what it costs to operate one transatlantic aircraft coming to the States? Anybody have any idea? Anybody? Easily $250,000. Arctic, correct me on this. Easily $250,000 for a flight. So in order to commit, and that's probably not, I think it's probably more like $500,000. I haven't done the math recently. It depends on the size of the aircraft and the crew involved. The fuel is a factor too. But when you factor in all the stuff, the interest that they have to pay for the loans they have for purchasing the aircraft, paying the payments on it, you figure the salaries, the pilots, the flight attendants, you figure the fuel, you figure the landing fees, you figure the taxes, you figure all that in, plus the infrastructure for these corporations. We're talking $250,000, $500,000 per commercial flight. Am I wrong, Arctic? I may be understating it. Okay? It costs a lot of money to fly a commercial flight transatlantic for 14 to 17 hours. In order for a company to make that commitment, they're going to have to be able to put asses in seats. They're going to have to be able to put 20 or 30 people up there in first class, charging them $12,000 a flight, which makes it possible. Then they're going to put in the business class, which is going to be another 20 or 30 seats or more, depending on the size of the plane. That's going to generate them another, $5,000 per ticket, $4,000 to $5,000 per ticket easily. And then all the rest of us dregs who sit in the back of the bus with our knees jammed into our rectum, getting dislocated hips and suffering from jackasses in front of us who think they're on the beach in lawn chairs and lower their seats back like this. So we have our food thrown all over our clothing. Those assholes, that's they're with the rest of us, and we pay, $1,500 for that flight. Arctic, correct me where I'm wrong on here. Yeah, there you go. $650,000 for a trip. Yeah, a return. That's both ways. So he's saying about $375,000 each way. Again, we'd have to look at the type of aircraft and everything involved, but that's a huge commitment. So we're talking over $500,000, $250,000 for a flight there and back for United or Delta or someone else. You got to put people in the seats. Okay? And who's promoting South Africa as a tourist destination right now in America? I haven't seen any advertising in this country about coming to South Africa, not a single one, ever. Ann says she'll hide my suitcase. Good luck with that. It's full of gifts from people. They also ask where you get your information from, and I mentioned you. Well, thank you so much for that, Chrissy. Please do that, folks. They know who I am. Yeah, and that actually puts you in good stead. If you tell USCIS or Amerikaners that you're getting your information from me, they're going to know that you're not listening to bullshit. Yep, that's true. A lot of people have done that. Okay, all right. Yeah, a lot of people only now getting in the boat. That's fine, Sumari. That's why I do the Sunday program to repeat these questions. It's fair. I agree to do this, although it's cutting into my football time. 24-24 in the fourth quarter. Whoa, things are getting crazy, man. Jacoby Brissett suddenly has 2 touchdowns. He's looking pretty good. Jonathan Taylor is not getting 100 yards. He's only at 82. So Colts better get it together. They better get it together. Wow. And, wow, the Cardinals are driving right now, too. So, man, Colts might lose this game. Not good, man. Not good. Let me see. Let me listen in.
Has great protection. Fires it wide open in the middle of the field. That's Zay Jones for a first down. And he sprints down to the Indianapolis 40-yard line. But another flag in the backfield.
Good. Hopefully it's holding and takes it back and negates that gain. The song for the Sharks, you finished with a song. I did, Andre. Okay. Dozen crabs, remember? No, that's at 4:30. Yeah, your day is busy. Thank you, Bench. Rena, thanks. You're very welcome. I read one of the side effects of inoculations to make your genitals bigger. Oh, that's so silly. I'm day 1 applicant, but have had no communication yet. There's a lot of people, Balui, who you're not an applicant. First off, get that out of your mind. You're not an applicant. Nobody's applied until you have a case number. You have expressed an interest. You put a statement of interest in. They've got 100,000 plus of those. There are a lot of people who haven't been heard from all the way back. And the people sent PRM emails haven't been heard yet. Current credit status in South Africa has no impact on your application. That's correct, Golda. But if you want a green card, as Arctic correctly pointed out, permanent residency in America, it could very well come into play. So I would not recommend anybody abandon their debts. I'm just saying it doesn't affect you being a refugee. I mean, think about this. If the country's on fire, if people are being murdered in the streets, if they're hunting people down like they did in the Congo, the Belgian Congo in 1960, if that's happening, we're not going to sit around and go, well, you know, we would bring you over, but you owe the Belgian Mining Society $10,000. Until you settle that debt, you can't come over. That's just stupid, okay? All right. Somebody wrote senior certificate. I missed it. I think you might be right. The more people that go over, the more people will apply. Will express an interest. Okay. One question, will they let you know if you've been refused? Sean, I've had a couple people claim that they've been rejected. I investigated those cases. They were factually incorrect. They weren't rejected. They simply didn't fill out the forms correctly. And it can't be processed. That's not a rejection. They sent it back to them and said, put your statement of interest in again. You're not rejected. I don't know if they're going to reject people. Don't know. I think they morally owe you a response. But I don't know what the law says in that respect. Ask for unabridged for kids. It says unabridged, JJ Erasmus. That's what the form says? Really? Or is that something from Afrikaners or Amerikaners? Be very specific, JJ Erasmus. What forms from America did you fill out that say unabridged birth certificate? I'd be shocked to find a form, unless it's a locally generated form, from the American government. We don't have anything such as an unabridged birth certificate. No such thing exists. Yeah, it says 2015, they've only been unabridged. Thank you for that, Heinrich. That's what I was getting at. Birth certificate as a few years ago. Yeah, exactly. Watching only now. We'll certainly watch the full replay. All right, thank you, Naomi. Pauline King. Does a criminal record go after 25 years without a repeat offense? David Wilson, I can't answer that question. I'm not an attorney. Records are expunged by court order. Records are expunged by age. For instance, horrible things happened to me and my siblings in my childhood. In 1994, I went to the courthouse to try to look at those records from the 1970s, and the only thing there was a docket saying there was a court case, who was involved, and mentioning the names of the minor children. But the circumstance of the court case, the judgment, were all gone. The crime wasn't expunged, but there's no record of it. So every country is different. Every situation is different. You may need to write to me privately, David, to explain your situation. I really can't answer a question like that. That's just so wide open, I could drive a tank through it. Certificates you can get, was unable to get. Okay. They don't care about unabridged. They only need a birth certificate. Exactly. Will misdemeanor, old criminal cases be held against you? It could be, Hannes. Did you murder someone? Did you rape someone? Did you rob someone? Did you commit grand larceny? Did you commit arson? Yeah, that could count against you. We don't need dirtbags in this country. If it's something minor, it's a different story. Olga's still waiting. Well, Olga, I'm so glad to see you still there. It's awesome. Didn't we meet Olga with the meet and greet? Thought we met at the meet and greet. Security screening similar to, I have no idea what an Australian 457 work visa is, so Edward, I can't answer that question, but I suspect it's much more stringent than that. Yep. Tian Kitsoff, I'll do an interview. Thank you. Okay, waiting for new flights. You're one of those people that's already had a flight canceled. Okay, and there's the email address. Bevan Amson, my son just scored 88th percentile on the MCAT. Tears of joy. Applying next cycle med school. Cool. Cool. That's good. I don't know how long the MCAT's good for, but hopefully you get over and get settled in time for that to be still good. 3 refugees staying to give interviews. Well, I saw 2. I missed 1. So send the emails, folks. Forums from Americana Santa Bridge. Aha! Aha! The Americanas are not the U.S. government. Is this a U.S. government form, or is it generated form by Amerikaners? Okay, like I said. Uman Nell, thank you for the 140 rand super chat. So kind of you. Yes, thank you, Colonel, for all your info. This time we're still waiting patiently, so really appreciate it. You're welcome, CM. And Maggie Groves, I've been watching all your videos, not coming, just watching and taking all your advice. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it. Okay, yes, we did. Yeah, I thought so, Olga. I thought I met you. I remember. Yeah, I remember that. Olga, bear in mind, please be patient with. I met over 1,400 people at those meet and greets. Marley says we get approved. You can interview us. Absolutely. But beware, Marley. I'm going to probe deeply about what that issue was with the Hells Angels. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you don't need a high school diploma for a job in America. You don't need a high school diploma for anything except in a GED to go to university. Although it's a nice thing to have, and people want to accomplish it because they want to say they did it. Yep. All right. Cool. Alrighty, folks. An hour and 29 minutes into this, and it's a Sunday, and we've had a very good session here today with a lot of people and a lot of good questions. Thank you all for them. Oh, the Colts gave up a field goal. They're trailing now. Not looking good. Not looking good. They had some good performance in the first half, but now they're not looking so good. Yep. Anyway, Colts better get their crap together in a hurry, a real big hurry, because they are going to lose this game if they don't get it done. 9 minutes left in the game, and the Cardinals have the ball. Well, no, it must be the Colts who just kicked the field goal. No photos of me sober. Actually, that's not true, Arctic. I do have a photo of you sober.
Puts the Cardinals back on top over the Colts, 27-24.
There you go. I do have a photograph of you at Linwood Bridge when you gave me the Durvors and you were sober. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening. My day continues, and news will be coming tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, when I'm approved, definitely. Okay, cool beans, guys. You're welcome, JP, and thanks for the super chats. We've got 510 likes. That's pretty cool, and almost 2,500 views. That's pretty cool. Catch you all later on. So I appreciate you being here. Have a lovely evening. Let me shut down the old faithful video. I don't want that to... Good night. You're very welcome, Balloony. And for all the folks who are new and just discovering this, I don't know how you found me. That'd be nice to find out next time. Tell me how you found out about this, because a lot of these people have clearly not been here before, and I'm curious, well, suddenly people have found this stream. And we do it every Sunday when I'm not traveling. And even when I'm traveling, I try to do it. Cheers, everybody. I say you were sober.